So, as many of you know, this is online session on. If I think you may have to go on mute. It's echoing. Shall I continue?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So this is an online session on Alibaba Cloud, and today we are to discuss about Apsara Stack. So Apsara Stack is the core of Alibaba Cloud, if you see, and this has the most of it which we will go through and discuss today, and and this discussion is obviously about cloud platform. What our focus is that we are more multi-cloud agnostic. Obviously, we know multiple cloud. We have explored multiple cloud. You all are working on different cloud platform, and you have expertise in different areas. But what we learn together in this cloud session is frugality. Frugality means how cost effective are we in designing and defining solution on the cloud. Um, we expand our cloud practice platform maybe to Alibaba if the need arises, and there are different features and benefit of Alibaba. This will improve our pre-sales and delivery stack, and and there will be more options open for us to give it to client, and obviously we'll be explorer in learning new thing. This is the second session. The first session was more on the introduction around Alibaba Cloud Platform, different tool set, how can you get the free access to Alibaba Cloud, how can you run your instances, and overall about Alibaba Cloud. This is more concentrated onto Apsara stack of Alibaba Cloud. If you know, many of you know, I'm an inventor, leader, mentor, enabler. I have almost 17 years of direct service to the IT industry and almost 5 years of entrepreneurship experience in the past before I started. You can connect to my LinkedIn through this bit.ly link. Uh, Alibaba Cloud is open as a community of multi-cloud solution architect. Everyone who join is obviously the part of it, and we are our job is to explore Alibaba Cloud from multi-cloud platform basis, and how Alibaba Cloud can be uh, a better point of use in terms of multi-cloud architecture, in terms of cloud frugality, and in terms of frugality on how the cost effective thing can happen, and how usability and easeability of it, and that's what we are doing it while exploring Alibaba Cloud. And we also would like to go through different cloud platform and see how things are happening. So this is more around a platform initiated for learning Alibaba Cloud, as I said, and this is more around how do we manage OPEX and CAPEX and security and vendor login, and how do we handle issues related to that. Uh, this is our WhatsApp and YouTube channel. To keep yourself updated, you can scan it and use it. Uh, there are a bit more. We have also opened up on LinkedIn FB group. We have a mailing list and meetup to sign up. So this is the pure if you see, this is what Apsara stack is. So if you see at the top Alibaba, are you able to see the screen, right? Yeah, and because the slide has went off after this, so what I will do is I will take you directly to the platform and will try to show you, and will try to give you a comparison from other cloud platform. So this is Open API or API SDK. So Open API is obviously platform extended on Swagger, and Open API is the front end platform for Alibaba. If you see from the Apsara stack, so anything that you need to play with on the Alibaba Cloud platform, you can do it with the Open API. And then if you go a layer down, layer deep, at the right side, layer deep at the left side, you see Internet Middleware Application Platform. There is this is completely or mostly distributed system, and how the distributed system works in Alibaba environment. And I will go through all of this once we dive deep. So enterprise distributed application service, distributed relationship database service, message queue, application real-time monitoring service, API gateway, and machine learning PAI. Similarly, we in the database we have, and there are many more which has come up. So Apsara DB, which is there for MySQL. MySQL is something which Alibaba has researched a lot, and there are different platform, different uses of MySQL in the distributed computing that you will see once we drive down and explore Alibaba platform more. Apsara DB for PostgreSQL. So this is Postgres implementation as a platform as a service, and this is all you can understand as similar to RDS kind of setup as you see in AWS. Similarly, in the MongoDB is something available in terms of RDS only. Apsara DB for MongoDB is there. Apsara DB, obviously MongoDB is not relation database service, but the screen, the UI, and the things, the way you will manage, you will get the experience that the way you play with the SQL Server, or most of the OLTP systems, or which are available on different cloud platform. Apsara DB for SQL Server is there. With the latest SQL Server 2017 is there. What I've seen, we have Memcache, so completely memory caching database is there, and you can play with it. Redis is there. Data transmission service, data management service is more around data transformation, bringing data from one platform to another platform, even from your in-premises data, moving data from in-premises to Alibaba Cloud platform, moving data from different cloud vendors to Alibaba Cloud platform. And this is all distributed kind of setup. Data management service. And similarly, in the big data world, you will see big data services as Max Compute. This is more around OLAP and data warehouse kind of system. DataWorks is there. Analytic DP, eMap Reduce, Data Fin, DT Boost, Quick PI, Graph Analytics. We'll go through all of this as the time persists, or maybe in the next session once it comes, and we'll detail down with the time. So as the survey suggested, that if many of you are interested into the big data world, analytics, and data science world, so obviously our session will also concentrate down the line more inside into those areas. But in the startup, like maybe for 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 session, it will concentrate more on the basic things as we dive down into the system. Basic services are there. Elastic compute services that I talked about last week, virtual private cloud, server load balancer, container services. Container services is more, as I said last week, is around Elastic Kubernetes services, key management service, as is there in most of the cloud, resource orchestration service, log service, auto scaling. And in the storage world, you will see SAN, NAS, and table store. So as is there in Azure, as there in AWS or Google Cloud. So object storage service is more around SAN, and it's also fulfills the need of data lake. Here, network attached storage is more around the NAS and the file storage, and the table storage is more around using tabular form of data store, which is more like a PAAS. So Alibaba Cloud Security is separately you see here, and then this is more around system reliability, and then you have a centralized management and administration. So I will try to take you through the Open API and API SDK and give you a comparison, and then we'll move down as the time passes, or we'll continue in the next slide. Just give me a moment. Do this Open API API SDK. You just have to search for, and if you go into Alibaba, I will show you the. So Open API platform is a Swagger based platform. Every cloud provider has fulfilled it in one or either way, but you see the way Alibaba fulfill is it's really easy to use and easy to explore and expand. So if you are a developer, if you know to play with the REST API and obviously over and above Open API, it becomes very easy for you to run and work with it. So it's more like, if you see here, it's a visible API call, and it works as a facade and a wrapper about the whole system. And the backend there is Alibaba Cloud platform, and then they have API market, and then you have obviously through web CLI and SDK example. So there is a web command line interface also that runs on this API that you can work on. let me open this up. This is the api.aliun.com, which is the platform where you can go and explore this API. So this is the API platform. You will see that you have the SDK instruction for Java, Go, Python, Ruby, .NET, Node.js, PHP developer, and this also automatically generates all those code when you try to explore one of the API. So I'll try to show you about go through Elastic Compute Service API. These platforms run really nice. The documentation is there, which is a little slow. So I will search for ECS. I will search for instance. Describe instances. I will search. I open up one. Uh, I created one free ECS instance in Mumbai last week during the demo. I will try to see how does it works. So please call after login. Okay, so I have to log instances. Looks like describe instances. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Anjani.
Okay. So I have hit the Mumbai region, and I will see if I hosted a server. I'm able to see the request here. So you see here, it gives me that I have hosted an image with ubuntu.vsd. My request ID is this. I only have one instance. Zone ID is AP South 1B, and then it's a CPU one. It's a memory. Its memory has one. It's only 1 GB. Can you go on mute? So memory is 1 GB. And then if I go down, you will see a instance ID. Uh, so currently it's stop. I will try to restart it with the instance ID. I'm just trying to find out the instance ID here. Here is it. So I will just copy the instance ID, and then I will look for instant start. I will simply see start instance. So there's a command for everything, and so I will put the instance ID and try to submit the request. So the request has been accepted. If I go back and see the instance, it should say running. Describe instances. I will go and put the region ID Mumbai. I can also put the instance ID here. There are parameters for this, but if you go down, it should say come down running. So my instant stopped and started running, and the best thing is that with most of the cloud you will see that this URL are scattered here and there. If there are platforms, you will be able to use it, but again you will have to code or you will have to find the documentation out of it. Here you will see, if you go here in the example code, you will see that the code is auto generated for most of the platforms. You just have to copy and paste it and use it into your program. So either you use Node.js in .NET. Many of the people are here from the Microsoft background, so you can see here the code is generated with the access key and access secret. You need to put from your console, and then you can use it. So this is what the benefit and difference is. So if I go into the Azure Compute REST API, you'll see it's also structured well, but in terms of I think so. There is a platform. I'm unable to open it because links and other things. Let me see if there. Uh, else many of you had already seen this, right? So Azure and Google Cloud is API. So here I got, so for Google Cloud, you'll see that there's a similar API which is there, and you can apply and use. And here you can explore the API with the OAuth authentication. But for codes and other thing, obviously you will have to do some experiment. So from that perspective, Alibaba has structured things in a way that it can be easily used and easily extended to be used by anyone. Now let's go on to the distributed relational database service. So I will go into enterprise distributed application service. So a platform which is meant to set up and give you an opportunity to host and run microservices platform seamlessly. So it gives you a platform on different microservices platform, which I will take you through, and to use it and to then obviously experience it. So you don't have to do much around microservice, around orchestration, instrumentation, debugging, hosting, specifically around container management and all. Everything can be managed seamlessly through a single platform if you use enterprise distributed application service. So I will take you through that. And for each of this, you will see that there is a documentation available. So if you talk about the feature, so the most important thing which is to note is so it's if you see here, it's a RPC framework, which is everything is handled through remote procedure call, and remote procedural call can be through on HTTP uh, and 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 other stack like TCP directly. So Spring Cloud is a running environment for Spring Cloud. So whatever the Netflix API that has been developed in the microservices framework and microservices world, like Joule, Ribbon, Fane, and multiple things can is directly hosted there, and the environment is completely set up for you. You just have to start running code or start writing code on it, and then you can play with it. So it has auto scaling feature. It's a primary account and sub account, and it has a Kubernetes and container service cluster integrated that you can use. It can also have different it can also support different type of container like Apache Tomcat container, like Ali Tomcat, Pandora, EDAS container, and that container can also be used. It has distributed link tracking, service call monitoring, IaaS based monitoring, and tenant level service report. uh, you can do automated stress testing. That is a important part of microservice setup when you do ideally either in the mesh framework, which becomes more complex. And then obviously you have the obviously it's giving you the support of the whole infrastructure, the whole setup that the Netflix services are were built on the and that's now available over and above Spring Cloud. Other than that, Dubo is there. Dubo is more a RPC kind of service and application developed by Alibaba that can be used. And one more application can be used, which is also developed by Alibaba, but that is also more around a microservice framework. So once in the next session, once I go through it, we'll try to simulate it and we'll try to launch this uh, by creating a service and use it. Let it load. In the meanwhile, I will go to the relational database service, DRDS. So DRDS is more around a distributed database. Think about if you are hosting a SQL server or MySQL on multitude of database, sorry, multitudes of ECS instance, and then you are managing it on the fly. So it has a benefit of horizontal scaling and horizontal partitioning, and also in terms of if you see in the way there is a difference between horizontal partitioning and obviously what you say horizontal SAD, putting the database putting the different part of the table into SAD and expanding the tables and the database into multi schemas. So it's not like in the single database when you do horizontal partitioning, it's a part of a single schema. But when you play with the DRDS system, and specifically talking about this system, this is able to host your data into multiple SADs or multiple horizontal partition, and the benefit of it is like each partition can be hosted into different machines, different VM, and these all get very complex and integrated. But from a user perspective, the query becomes seamless, and it can be expanded to million of calls, and even the storage can be expanded seamlessly without doing much of a hassle. So let me take you through the documentation. So you see, if you go into the architecture, it has in the ideal world, you play with the OLAP database, then you have Quick BI or Tableau. Quick BI is another, I said, is another version of Power BI. Obviously, it's not. We still have to explore it to find out which one is better. Obviously, we have used Power BI a lot. Quick BI is again the BI reporting tool as like Tableau. Then you have Galaxy Storm, SAP HANA, and other system, ADS HANA and Hadoop system, from where your OLAP database is integrated. And if you go dive down, there is business logic layer, the way it's there in the system, and in the back end you will see that you can have multiple LTP databases, but in a DRDS system you can have horizontal data sharding, and that's the benefit of it. So there may be multiple RDS in the background, multiple RDS expanded into multiple distributed system, multiple virtual machines. They have their own storage, and the same table can expand into multiple VMs and can stay there, and it can be easily queried. And then there is a read write separation also. That is also seamless. You don't have to do much on it, and you just have to define by a click of command that this will be my read instance and this much is going to be my write instance, and it will automatically manage. And internally through the distributed system and RPC, it will manage and connect with the different system, and make sure that a read and write redundancy is managed, and consistency is there. So again, it's asking me for authorization. This is EDAS. So this is the platform where I just discuss that we can host a microservice environment. If you go into message queue is more around Rocket MQ, or more around uh, uh, message queue. If you see, is completely based on a distributed system, and it's an integration of. If you see in the AWS, you have a simple message service and simple notification service. So this all the both system has been integrated here in the way that it's able to store millions, it's able to sustain millions of load, millions of message request load, in in a very short duration of time. It's also able to broadcast your messages to different consumer in terms of topic, the way you see in the mostly notification system. And this is based on Apache Rocket MQ. If you are aware of it, or I will simply search it for you. So it's obviously the way you understand it, it's almost similar to any message queuing system, but it's highly distributed, highly scalable, and can be used almost near to a streaming system like Kafka. But obviously, it's not that. The way it is being used in the purpose is different, but it's almost near real time. Real-time monitoring service is the same as we do it with other monitoring system which is there for different cloud platform, but the good benefit is that it has a single platform where you can also apply APM, so you don't have to buy any APM tool set when you are working with Alibaba Cloud. You can use the default application real-time monitoring service for that. Machine learning PAI, uh, let me take you through this. So, machine learning PAI is a platform uh, for artificial intelligence and machine learning, and it has hundred of machine learning algorithm available along with TensorFlow and deep learning to dive in through the machine learning platform. It has a API layer which has been built above machine learning. Obviously, Azure has similar, and even AWS has similar platform available. But that API layer gives you a very easy flexibility on blue-green deployment of the machine learning platform in terms of DevOps, which can be integrated with machine learning platform, and in terms of training your model, and in further to that, working on those model to deliver your solution directly to a web platform or alerting system, and the way it is. Similarly, if we talk about databases, you have Apsara DB, you have Apsara DB for Redis, as I talked about, and around the big data services, we'll go through into the next session. Any questions, friends? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So, any questions or anything that you would like to know more around uh, any of the tool that I have discussed today? If I wrap it up, we discuss about around Open API, and then we discuss around enterprise distributed application service, distributed relation database services, message queue, application real-time monitoring services, machine learning, and API gateway. API gateway I didn't discuss. We'll discuss later on, and partly on this one. We'll explore it
Yeah,
more further.
very good. Yeah, hi, this is Priyas. You
Yeah,
have
press.
given a very good comparison between the AWS,
Hmm.
Azure, and Alibaba.
Yeah.
Really very helpful. It will help us in getting good comparison between the multi-cloud. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank
It
you. I'm really I really apologize that the slide because something happened with the machine and all the slides were not there, or the session would have been more interactive. But maybe next time when we join next Sunday. Thank you
no
everyone
problem.
for Thank you everyone for joining.